Bill O'Reilly here. Welcome to the No Spin News. Wednesday, September 10th, 2025. Stand up for your country. Good initial reception for Confronting Evil. Okay, streaking up the Amazon charts. And a very interesting 1 hour conversation with Sean Hannity on his radio program today about our responsibility, regular folks, to combat evil. And I hope you check it out. We have it posted on our website. And then I wake up this morning, and this evil guy right here, Putin, we find out he sent drones and missiles to Poland to try to kill people, innocent people in Poland. This is Putin. Am I surprised? No. I told you from the very beginning about this guy. That's why he's on the cover of the book. But this is a very serious story. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points Memo. So Poland has triggered NATO's Article 4. Prime Minister Donald Tusk reported Russian drones breached Polish airspace during an overnight strike. Okay? So the Kremlin, Putin, basically said, Ukraine did it or some stupid thing like that. I don't know whether Putin did this on purpose or his military is just incompetent. I don't really care. I know that Putin wants to cause as much trouble in the world as he can, and he's succeeding. That's what I know. So 19 Russian drones were intercepted by Polish missiles and NATO defense systems. None got through. All right, you see the map that Poland is right on the border of Russia and Ukraine and is in the kill zone, literally. So the upshot of this is that now NATO and America are going to have to confront Putin. They have to. Here's what the NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said. Go.
Last night, numerous drones from Russia violated Polish airspace. Our air defenses were activated and successfully ensured the defense of NATO territory, as they are designed to do. Several allies were involved alongside Poland. This included Polish F-16s, Dutch F-35s, Italian AWACS, NATO multi-role tanker transport and German Patriots. I commend the pilots and all who contributed to this quick and skillful response.
Now, President Trump is talking to the Polish president, and we'll have more on that tomorrow. Trump's going to have to say something. But more importantly, he's going to have to do something. Now, I have not Monday morning quarterbacked Donald Trump on this because I understand the danger that Putin poses because he would use nuclear weapons. It's another reason you need to read Confronting Evil to see just how bad this guy is. He is a psychopath, all right? He's worse than he was, far worse than when Trump was dealing with him 6 years ago, because he has absolute power in Russia. So Russia's got 150 million people. It is the largest landmass on Earth, all right? The country is enormous, and Putin has unlimited power. Whenever you give a human being unlimited power, the person goes crazy. And that's what you'll see in the book. All right, leader after leader after leader after leader. They do absolutely bonkers because there are no restraints. And if you are evil to begin with, that evil just heightens. And that's what's happened to Putin. But I had his number from the very beginning. You will remember a soundbite that went worldwide on February 5th, 2017. This was right before the Super Bowl. I interviewed Donald Trump about many things, but zeroed in on Putin. Go.
Do you respect Putin?
I do respect him.
Do you? Why?
Well, I respect a lot of people, but that doesn't mean I'm going to get along with him. He's a leader of his country. I say it's better to get along with Russia than not. And if Russia helps us in the fight against ISIS, which is a major fight, and Islamic terrorism all over the world,
right?
Major fight, that's a good thing. Will I get along with him? I have no idea. It's very
He's a
possible
killer,
I
though.
won't.
Putin's a killer.
A lot of killers. We got a lot of killers. Why, you think our country's so innocent? You think our country's so innocent?
I don't know of any government leaders that are killers in America.
Well, take a look at what we've done, too. We've made a lot of mistakes.
All right, so Donald Trump did go into his second term believing he could reason with Vladimir Putin. He didn't lie when he campaigned, said, oh, I'll solve Ukraine right away. That wasn't a lie. It just was a false perception because Putin, as I said, have changed. You need to know, all right, about what the danger is over there because it could get out of control. And the kicker on this is the Iranians are the same as Putin. There's no level of evil. It's 9/11 week. Wouldn't even have 9/11. It never would have occurred at the Ayatollah Khomeini hadn't taken over and the Persian people allowed him to. But they didn't have nukes. Trump prevented them from getting nukes, and we'll prove that coming up in this broadcast. This is a very key thing on 9/11 week. But I believe that back against the wall, Putin would use nukes. You got to be very, very careful here. But you can't allow him to go any further. This is it. All right? You got to slap every economic sanction you can on Putin right now, right this week. And you got to send a message that I would mobilize NATO troops. I would mobilize them now into Poland. All right? You got to send a message because that's it. Talking, not going to do anything. The other thing in Confronting Evil that you'll learn is Putin's own personal Dachau in the Black Sea. I describe it down to a T. This is unbelievable research. And there is something inside that Dachau that bolsters my belief that this man would use nuclear weapons. Tactical, he's not going to drop the bomb on New York City. That's impossible. But he could certainly drop low-level nukes and cause a nuclear war because we'd have to reply in kind. And that's the memo. So we're on it. You're not going to get the truth anywhere else but here. I shouldn't say that. That's too braggadocio, but stay with us. The Department of Energy is reporting, and not many people know this, that over the next few years, power outages could increase by 10,000% all over the country. And that's because of rocketing demand. Everybody needs power, thanks to the cars, right? The electric cars and data centers, AI, sucking that energy. So if you don't have a backup generator, you need one. And I recommend the Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator from My Patriot Supply. Unlike gas generators, this is a quiet, fume-free, and safe to use indoors. Powerful enough to run almost everything in your home. When you go to mypatriotsupply.com/bill, order a Grid Doctor 3300 solar generator, you'll get a free expansion battery, doubling the power capacity of the system. That's mypatriotsupply.com/bill. Free expansion. And the battery offer is available for just a limited time. You got to move it. MyPatriotSupply.com/bill. Now, at the same time, Russia's threatening Finland, another new NATO ally. All right? This guy, Dmitry Medvedev, he's Putin's puppet. Here's what he said. The main thing for the Finnish establishment is not to forget that confrontation with us, Russia, could lead to the collapse of the Finnish statehood once and for all. Okay, Dmitry, you want to start World War III? Start messing with Finland. Any NATO country that's attacked by Russia leads to World War III. That's it. Boy. Israel attacks Hamas inside Qatar. Okay, so for some reason, the Qatari leadership allows Hamas big shots to live there, under the guise of, well, we're mediating and we're putting up a treaty and all of that. Well, Israel's had enough of that. So they're trying to kill every Hamas leader. This is controversial. The progressives hate Israel in America and across Western Europe. It's the same thing. And this attack was Israel against Qatar, which Trump doesn't want. Okay? And here's Caroline Levitt's statement on the Israeli attack. Go.
This morning, the Trump administration was notified by the United States military that as Israel was attacking Hamas, which very unfortunately was located in a section of Doha, the capital of Qatar. Unilaterally bombing inside Qatar, a sovereign nation and close ally of the United States that is working very hard and bravely taking risks with us to broker peace, does not advance Israel or America's goals.
No, I believe that Netanyahu did give Trump a heads up. I could be wrong, but I don't think the U.S. military called up the president. I think Trump knew something was up. But remember, we can't control everything Israel does, and Israel does overreact. But their goal and stated goal that everybody knows, we're going to kill every Hamas leader. I don't care where they are. Not justifying, just reporting. Now, there is a movement in the United States and Western Europe to boycott everything Israel. It's not really succeeding, but there are some movie stars and personalities that signed on to it. And here they are: Emma Stone, Susan Sarandon, Alyssa Milano, Deborah Winger, Tilda Swinton, Javier Bardem, saying Bardem, right? Cynthia Nixon, Julie Christie. And these are all left-wing progressives. It's no surprise there. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that a lot of the American media sympathizes with Hamas and the Palestinians. They do. And that matters, because then the coverage is skewed and Americans don't get the full picture. Capitalism. So capitalism is a system that provides the most opportunity for the most people on this earth. There is no economic system even close to it. The other alternatives are socialism, communism, fascism. That's what Hitler did. Hitler ran the entire German economy, the Third Reich, ran it, but he allowed capitalism. So the companies like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, they were all around. Krupp in Germany, they could do and make money, but they had to answer to the government if they did anything government didn't like. That's fascism. Communism is where the government controls every part of the marketplace. You can't do anything, okay? Now, in China, as a communist country, they allow some people to make a lot of money, but that's always the case. But the regular folks, no. Socialism is like a little bit not as intense as communism. You don't seize private property, but the government runs the economy. That's what Bernie Sanders and AOC, Mandani, that's what they want. Okay. Now, capitalism to me has been, I personal experience, my God. I got out of Boston University in the mid-'70s with a master's in broadcast journalism. I didn't have enough money, and this is literally true, put gasoline in my car to drive from Boston to Scranton, Pennsylvania, which was my first job. I had to borrow $20 to get a tank full of gas to get out there. And I said to the general manager of the station WNEP TV in Scranton, I said, look, you're going to have to advance me some money to put down an apartment, or I'm going to be living under a bridge. You want me to live under a bridge? I don't have any money. So I started with zero, nothing, no assets. And I've, through hard work, and I'm using my God-given talents, and they are God-given, okay, I am now a wealthy individual. Could not have happened in any other system but capitalism. Okay? Now, if Bernie Sanders had his way, he'd take 50, 60% of what I have earned through hard work and sacrifice, he'd just take it away and do whatever he wants with it. So I can't possibly support it. But there is a new poll, Gallup, okay, about capitalism. First question. Off the top of your head, would you say you have a positive or negative image of each of the following? Capitalism. Positive image, 54%, the lowest number ever on a Gallup poll about capitalism. Negative about capitalism in the United States, 42%. Now, this is in 4 years, down 6 points. So in 2021, 60% were positive toward capitalism. Socialism. Right now, 39% of Americans have a positive view of socialism. You want to give up your economic freedom? Apparently 40% of Americans do. They don't care. Yeah, I'll give up my economic freedom. staggering to me. Okay. Now that number was 4 years ago, 38%. So that's stayed pretty much the same. Joining us now from Columbia, South Carolina, capital of the state, is Patrick Brown. He is a fellow at the Ethics and Public Policy Center. That's a conservative group, think tank based in D.C. Why do you think younger Americans in particular are souring on capitalism, which has been proven over and over and over again to be the way to lift yourself from poverty, from working class status into affluence? What has changed?
Well, capitalism definitely has a PR problem. There's no doubt about it. When you look at the polling, the young people today, they do have that hesitancy. They hear capitalism and they think not the Bill O'Reilly of the 1970s scrapping his way to become, who he became, but of a big healthcare CEO denying coverage to somebody who they saw on social media, or trying to get on the ladder themselves and feeling like it's just impossible to start a family or buy a house. I think those are some of the concerns that people have. And so when you ask them, do you like capitalism, they're comparing it in their head to some sort of ideal other system. They're not thinking of the Soviet Union or even the high tax rates that someone like, presumptive mayor of New York, perhaps Mamdani would propose. They're thinking about, well, I would love to have capitalism that works a little bit better for me in my circumstance in life.
But isn't that stupidity? So it takes a while to amass assets. It takes years to do it. When I first started out, I rented an apartment. I didn't have enough money to buy a house. Couldn't put a down payment on a house. I had to buy a used car. Okay, but I accepted it. That's how you start. And then I put off a family because I knew I couldn't afford a family, and then try to, stair-step a career. So isn't it stupidity or naivete or something now? Are these people that dumb? They don't understand that it takes time to build affluence?
I think naivete might be a good word for it. I think you look at the rising age of first time people get married is now in their 30s. First time having a kid, it's risen tremendously since the early 70s, late 70s. People are delaying these milestones in life much later than they used to. Part of that's because that sense that it's just harder to get on the treadmill maybe than it used to be. Part of it is because we're a richer country now, right? And people are on their phones or watching Netflix and they see, wow, that's a beautiful house. That's my ideal of what a house needs to look like for me to be able to buy it. Well, that's not affordable for somebody in their 20s, but the hedonic treadmill keeps pushing us up. Wait,
Patrick, wait a minute. Remember that show Lifestyles that are Rich and Famous with dopey Robin Leach? Remember that? Remember that show?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the
I've
same
heard
thing.
of it.
I saw that show. Oh, look at it. Hello, I'm out here. Yeah, I'm not an idiot. I'm 27. I know I can't afford it, but maybe when I'm 40, I can. The unrealistic expectations, not only younger Americans, but a lot across the board, that they think that everything's going to work out. Yeah, bad health companies, bad insurance companies, all day long. But you fight it. That's why I opened up the concierge membership to BillO'Reilly.com. So when you get hosed, I'll help you fight it. But you can win most of those fights. But if you go to Canada, which has socialized medicine, socialize this, socialize that, you want a knee transplant, you can't get one. And we'll give you one 6 years from now. You go over to Britain, try to get your teeth fixed in Great Britain, good luck to you.
They might offer you assisted suicide instead. But
there's
definitely a sense where people are not thinking about the real life alternatives, right?
Okay.
Again, Canada.
But why aren't they?
They have to pay for it, for sure. It's a lot higher tax rates. The government gets way more involved in people's lives than I think even the most diehard supporters of Bernie Sanders would ever want. And so there is some resetting of expectations that I would agree with you that would be helpful. But also, look, we spend $7 on seniors for every one that we do on kids and families from the federal level. It's fair to say, hey, look, let's think about the ways that we've stacked the deck in favor of long-term homeowners instead of people getting just started in life. Let's build more housing, make the cost of living more affordable. I think those are some of the political things we can do to kind of tamp down some of this resentment.
All right, but that's local and state. Okay, capitalism is a global economic system. I don't object to anybody in any state or any county putting up housing that's affordable. I think it's a good thing, okay? But capitalism itself requires an understanding. And I think the public school system, this is the key to it, doesn't teach that. They don't know these kids. They come out with all of this unrealistic expectation that I'm going to have this, I'm going to have that. Why does somebody have it? I don't have it. That kind of a thing. You got to work hard for it. That's why America is a great country. It's built on the backs of the working class that wanted to move up and was willing to make the sacrifice. These kids just want it handed to them. They're spoiled. And this is what they're taught in school. You deserve this. You don't have it because society's evil. The corrupt billionaires, that kind of garbage. They're being lied to, but these Americans who want socialism and reject capitalism, they want to believe this stuff. It's not based on any reality.
And there's definitely an element to that. And there was a law passed in Ohio, I think last year or the year before, that actually required high school students to learn the fundamentals of just basic economics, supply, demand, why these things work the way they do. I think that's a great idea. It would also help if businesses kind of step back from trying to be social justice warriors like we saw during the COVID era, where everybody had the flags and the rainbows and the, Black Lives Matter type stuff. I think that also kind of poisons the well. What are companies actually for? Are they for delivering services and making life more affordable, or are they trying to play cultural influencer? That's probably also some part of the aspect as well.
Yeah, and there are good and bad corporations. All right, I've worked for both. Corporations are rotten, awful, terrible, greedy, and I've also operated in a benign atmosphere. Hey, Patrick, really appreciate your time. Thanks for helping us out. And hopefully we'll bring you back. Okay. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? Imagine putting those 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting some breathing room. It is possible when you call American Financing. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, you're not alone. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off debt. Please call American Financing today before the problem gets worse. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans, consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. Their customers save an average of $800 a month. It's fast, simple, and it could save your budget this summer. Please call now before it's too late. American Financing, 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557. AmericanFinancing.net/bill. If you are handling your own books or relying on a bookkeeper, it could lead to inaccuracies, missed deductions, and cash flow blind spots. FYSI's team of seasoned accounting professionals, corporate and tax attorneys manage every journal entry, bank reconciliation, and month-end close with precision, delivering clear, timely financial reports. They incorporated advanced tax avoidance strategies into your bookkeeping to capture deductions before you file. And they connect you with industry leaders and referral partners for growth opportunities. Set up your free consultation to learn how FYSI's experts can transform your books into a growth engine and accelerate your business to the next level. Act now to claim your free $5,000 business assessment, available for a limited time. Please go to FYSI.com/bill. Use promo BILL, or you can call 800-877-4000 today. Okay, as I mentioned, we have a special on NewsNation tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. If that's too late to stay up, just DVR it. You're going to want to see this. It's Leland Vitter, our pal, okay, interviewing me about my book. And here's a clip. Go.
One of the most interesting parts of Hitler's rise to power, and you write about this, is that he told the German people, this is what I want to do, and then did it.
Es lebe Deutschland!
He was elected. What does that say?
He wrote a book, Mein Kampf. They put him in jail in the 1920s because he was such a threat. From the very beginning, he didn't try to disguise his evil. He didn't try to disguise
What
it.
does it say that he was then elected to commit
It
evil?
says the German people are partially responsible for that whole thing over there. That's what it says. Now, the Nazis never got a majority vote, but they were high enough to win power. So Hitler, look, you got a guy here who was very brave. And we write about that. In World War I, he won the Iron Cross as a corporal. I mean, the guy was not some wallflower bureaucrat, okay? He was robust in his evil. And then he took advantage of, number one, the treaty where the Germans lost in World War I that devastated German society, and then the Great Depression where people didn't have anything to eat.
Okay, so harsh conditions breed evil.
Always. Always. That is the stair step that all of these maniacs took to gain power. It wasn't hard for Hitler to amass 40% of the German people voting for him. And the largest ethnic group in the USA are German Americans. So a very, very interesting documentary. Again, NewsNation, tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern. I will also be on Cuomo at 8. There's a report that Charlie Kirk, the conservative commentator, has been shot. So we are compiling information. We will deal with that, I think, tonight on NewsNation. Another evil act, right? Thank you for watching this evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for watching. To view full episodes of the No Spin News anytime, sign up to become a BillO'Reilly.com premium or concierge member today.